Eat better food every single day without blowing the budget? You think it can't be done, but I'll show you. It can.
Gosh. Oh. The best food on your plate doesn't have to cost the earth. So we're back to give you more incredible recipes that are not just delicious and nutritious, they're going to save you a load of cash too.
Me and my food team have tested every single recipe again and again so that we can bring you new meals across the series that on average cost less than £1.60 a head. We've got tasty dishes, inventive ideas and tidy little tips to help you guys shave off loads of costs but without compromising on flavour. So whether you want to save more money than ever before or just cook some beautiful, fine food, guys, welcome to Save with Jamie. Today I've got a fresh spin on a fast food favourite, fried chicken.
We've got a nice, naughty little feast, but made with love.
Make your store cupboard work for you with my tasty and thrifty spiced sausage bake.
The beans cook into the sausage cooks into the beans, the potatoes suck up everything.
Plus my pièce de résistance is like nothing you've eaten before. A meat-free feast from Veg.
I think I'm going to wrap myself in tin foil and all those herbs and go to bed, because I want to taste like that.
And I'm going to show you not one, but 2 ways to completely transform salmon leftovers. Mexican tacos with super easy homemade tortillas. And a Vietnamese-style salad with attitude.
Real flavour that attacks your taste buds.
Get ready for more Save with Jamie.
I know what you're thinking, great food and saving money might not go hand in hand, but brothers and sisters, let me tell you, it does. And this next recipe is a guilty pleasure. Yeah, we're talking chicken. Fried chicken, chicken in a basket. I've developed a lovely little recipe where we're not frying, we're baking, but we're still getting gorgeous, juicy chicken melt in your mouth with a crispy outside. Look at that, absolutely beautiful.
My oven-fried chicken comes with 3 fab sides, a rainbow slaw, sticky wedges and charred corn. A proper fast food feast coming in at around a tenner for 4.
It all starts down here with a whole chicken. Let me show you how to save some money.
A whole bird costs less than pre-jointed pieces. And it's super simple and fun to break down. All you need is a big sharp knife.
First of all, we're going to whip off the legs.
If you've never jointed a chicken before, give it a go. It's a great skill to have and will save you dosh every time.
Even if you don't do it brilliantly, it doesn't matter because you're going to breadcrumb this, you'll never see it, you'll never know.
And the best thing is, you'll get 14 pieces out of this one bird. Season it with salt, pepper and a good whack of Cajun spices.
Then I'm going to use cornmeal, just a tablespoon. It's the same as polenta, just a little finer. It's just dried sweet corn that's been milled, and that's going to give it a nice crispiness on the outside.
Finally, some olive oil and 2 cloves of garlic, and give it a good old rub.
But the real secret ingredient into chicken is care and love and freshness. When you make it yourself with amazing ingredients, another level. It's that comfort food, it's that sort of naughty, filthy food, but done proper, done right, extra flavour. So this massaging is really, really important. Really getting in there. And even better, massage this chicken up and let it marinate overnight for mega flavour. Really good.
But even just a few minutes sitting in that marinade will make all the difference. Now, let's talk fries.
Instead of getting a load of French fries, I know people love chips, don't we all? Let's mix it up a bit. So I've got 4 sweet potatoes here. Carefully cut it in half lengthways. Look at the colour of that. Then I'm just going to cut it into 3. You can't get it wrong. There is no right or wrong. Just a nice chunk. There's so much flavour in these sweet potatoes that you don't really need to do much to it. Just throw them in.
All they need is a little bit of salt, pepper, olive oil, and I'm using that magic cornmeal again.
As the juice and the stickiness comes out of the sweet potato, it kind of creates a lovely crispy coating. So just toss it up, flatten it out. So we've got sweet potatoes and chicken, nice and quick.
They'll just need a 20-minute blast at 190 degrees Celsius, 370 degrees Fahrenheit. And then my chicken is ready for the final bit of TLC. That cornmeal was added a nice little crunch. But southern fried chicken is all about that crispy coating. So let me show you how to get a gorgeous natural crust without deep frying in all that fat. Just whiz up some stale bread with some garlic, salt, pepper, some rosemary and just a little bit of olive oil. And you've transformed an old loaf into a flavour-packed crumb.
Look at that. Smells fantastic. How do I get the chicken to stick to the breadcrumbs? Well, I came up with a nice little old-fashioned trick, just flour and water. A couple of tablespoons heaped, maybe 3, of flour. And all you do is make an old-fashioned glue. This is what they used to put things on the wall with. Just a little water, and it goes super sticky, and it dries. And we want to make a little paste that is just going to stick those breadcrumbs onto the chicken.
A quick mix, then give each piece of chicken a dunk, a shake, and it's straight into the crumbs.
A beautiful chicken goes back into the tray around its own juices. It's going to be incredible. But this does give you an incredible crunch, but it also gives you a much healthier baked chicken rather than a deep fried one. This is proper child's play. You sprinkle it with the breadcrumbs and you pack it down like a sandcastle. And what you have something that's going to cook like a dream and go crispy. Also, any leftover breadcrumbs, just sprinkle them over the top because they will go ridiculous.
Then it's back with those wedges for another 40 minutes until golden and crispy. Now for the perfect accompaniment, but not as you know it.
Let me show you how to make a nice, beautiful slaw full of goodness. Over here, I've just got some everyday stuff. You know, white cabbage, you could use a red cabbage if you want. An onion, white or red, same price. An apple or a pear, right? A carrot, or anything crunchy that you've got in your fridge that you want to use up, just shred it. I'm just going to half the apple, whack it straight in there. Same with the onion, white or red. Go in with the carrots. Go in with your white cabbage. Even red cabbage if you want it. Easy. Let's make the mayonnaise sort of sauce.
I'm swapping the usual mayo for quality zero-fat yogurt. 3 tablespoons go in.
Yes, we're going to hit it up with seasoning, salt and pepper. Then we're also going to hit it up with a good teaspoon heaped of English mustard going in there is going to be great. And then vinegar, apple vinegar, white wine vinegar, kind of whatever you've got, but it's all good. I want to put about 1 or 2 tablespoons in there and just a little drizzle of olive oil. And we simply just mix it up, and that is a really beautiful, sort of low-fat, delicious way to make a slaw. This has really got attitude, okay?
But I want to add even more personality on the cheap. Herbs like mint or parsley are fantastic here because once you grow them in the ground, they'll grow like wildfire. You can't get rid of them. And that means extra flavour for you for free.
We're going to go in with our shred. Look at the colour there, guys. Beautiful colour. You know, this is a whole load, right? And the leftovers will last quite happily in the fridge for another 4 or 5 days in a ham sandwich with cold meats. Absolutely brilliant. But look at the colours, guys. We're talking about optimistic, delicious, gorgeous food that really doesn't cost much. Real, proper, home-cooked food with love. So mix it up, have a little taste. Very nice. A beautiful rainbow slaw. Done. Okay, to go with this, we're going to do some beautiful sweet corn. Now, I love sweet corn. Fresh, brilliant when it's in season. And actually, you can get frozen sweet corn, half the price. Really, really nice. Have a look at that.
Just whack them straight from the freezer into a screaming hot griddle pan. And in about 15 minutes, they'll be lovely and charred.
So 4 lumps of that, bit of slaw, bit of chicken, bit of sweet potato. Everything is going to be very, very good. And if you're thinking, well, I'll get my 2-litre bottle of pop, maybe this is an opportunity to remind ourselves how easy it is to make a lemonade if you can't settle for good old-fashioned water. So, a lemon. Let me show you how to get the most out of it. First, have a little bit of a roll-up. That's going to get the oils in the skin going. That's going to get all the capsules of lemon kind of broken and loosened up. Smells fantastic. Get a speed peeler, the cheapest and best little gadget in the kitchen. Just take the skin off and go into a nice little jug. I don't want to use loads of sugar, but we do want to balance the lemon juice. So let's say a tablespoon is more than enough. Cut our lemon and have a squeeze up. Look, all the juice coming there. I just plop that in as well because I'm a little bit lazy and there's a bit more flavour in there. Good old-fashioned lemonade. If you've got any herbs like mint, we'll use some of those. Top it up with some ice and top up with water. Good old-fashioned homemade lemonade. Way, 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 way better than a 2-litre bottle of fizzy pop. And by the way, I've made myself a little bucket. JFC, you know it makes sense.
This is an almighty fast food feast that saves on a few calories and tastes much better. It's fun to eat and easy to make. Delicious, crispy, quality chicken, Moorish wedges, and those brilliant sides without burning a hole in your wallet.
Right, who's hungry?
There's no secrets with this recipe. Shop clever and brush up on your kitchen skills to cut out the middleman. And you can treat yourself to a proper blowout for a lot less cash. After the break,
I'm so excited.
a rustic bake that's affordable and super tasty.
A lovely little dinner.
Plus, how not to waste those bits and bobs of cheese.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
For more money-saving ideas, go to savewithjamie.com. A well-stocked pantry is every cook's secret to rustling up an amazing midweek supper that will keep everyone happy and won't break the bank. Like my lovely sausage and pork bake. It takes minutes to put together, then you just stick it in the oven and forget about it. A big hearty bowlful will set you back just £1.84 a portion.
And it starts here in the pantry with some passata, some cannellini beans and smoked paprika to spice things up. Now, this dish is really easy to put together and it's one of those kind of comforting dishes that can just blip away in the oven. Now, over here in the fridge, I've got some pretty everyday things. I've got a little wedge of pork belly and some nice sausages. Good quality sausages, 80% meat, you know, so a good quality one. I don't want to downgrade the quality. This is a genuinely lovely dish in itself. So some nice sausages there. And I've got some pork belly here. It's just a little bit, but what I really love to do is cut these myself so you can get really lovely, chunky lardons.
The fattier cuts are often cheaper, but the flavour you'll get from this fat is priceless. And that's exactly what we need to ramp up this humble casserole.
I'm going to use 4 sausages for this dish. You know, look after the sausages. You want to get them brown on all the sides. Move it around. Lovely.
Then chuck in some veg, carrots and a red onion. Just roughly chop them. A bay leaf and 1 diced spud.
What's really lovely about this is apart from making it kind of nice and substantial, it will suck up all the flavour from everything that's cooking in that pot. And I just think it's a nice little addition to the recipe. So just shake the pan while stirring. You can see very quickly we've got some good colour happening there. The little bay leaf, I can smell that now. It's giving it a wonderful flavour.
Just leave to caramelise for 15 minutes in all that porky goodness.
So at this stage in the story, I will pluck out my sausage. That's what we call it in Essex. That's kind of half cooked now, but it has kind of set its shape. So I'm just going to slice it into about 3 pieces at an angle. I could have done this at the very beginning, and I just find that when you do that, it just falls apart like mincemeat, and we don't want that. I want chunks of sausage, chunks of potatoes, chunks of pork, very simple ingredients, cooked with a bit of care and love. And notice when I'm stirring, I'm making sure nothing's sticking. I'm going around like this, but then I'm shaking it flat to make sure it's all got contact with the pan again. Really important, I think.
Season with salt, pepper, and that store cupboard gem, sweet smoked paprika. Just 1 teaspoon adds an instant smoky depth.
If If I just keep stirring it, I'm going to smash it all up and you're going to end up just with like beaten up stuff, okay? And you won't get any true colour on anything. Get it in a nice flat layer. I haven't overpacked the pan. This is the perfect shape and size pan for this job, for 4 people. But then after like a minute, I'm going to get in there and I'm going to have a little mix up right to the bottom. And I shake it back down again. Come and have a little look here. See in the bottom of the pan here, we've got all these kind of dark cork bits, right? That's all flavour. Real goodness, okay? I'm just going to add a little splash of water. And the pan won't like that. It's now kind of cleaning all of that darkness off the bottom for us. Immediately, you've got a really nice gravy.
Now, all stews love a pulse, and I'm using cannellini beans, juice and all. They'll suck up all of those lovely flavours and really beef up this bake at very little cost.
Then I'm going to go in with my passata. And these are very, very affordable, humble ingredients, cooked with a bit of care and love.
Bring to the boil and bung in the oven for 40 minutes at 180 degrees Celsius, 350 Fahrenheit. And I've got a great tip for the final flavour injection.
I'll just take some rosemary and I give it a little toss-up in just a little bit of oil, and it's so fragrant and delicious. It could be sage or could be thyme, any woody herb. And then if you sprinkle that over any stew or bake, the flavour is just unbelievable.
Just scatter those sprigs over the casserole for a final 10-minute blast. And you've got an amazing hearty dinner here, just in one pot. Now for something to mop up all those lovely juices, my twist on a classic garlic bread. Toast the ciabatta till golden and crisp, then rub all over with garlic.
It smells incredible now. You'll be amazed the amount of flavour that you get from it. Really pungent and gorgeous.
Do exactly the same with a couple of cherry tomatoes, really squashing in the flavour. Then season and drizzle with olive oil.
It's just kind of like a slightly fresher, lighter kind of garlic bread, instead of it being just covered in loads and loads of butter, which, by the way, is delicious, but it's nice to mix it up. And really, the idea of these kind of giant crustinis or toasties or croutons, I don't know really what you want to call it, but the point of these is it's there to be destroyed and mop up our lovely sausage and pork bake.
Trust me, this is an absolute bowl of delight.
Really, really nice. What's amazing is that little bit of rosemary on the top completely makes it crisp and it snaps in your mouth, but the perfume that comes off it is so good. The beans cook into the sausage cooks into the beans, you know, the potatoes suck up everything. So good.
And at £1.84 a head, this one definitely delivers more than the sum of all its parts. And I've got plenty more where that came from with my money-saving tip of the week. This week, we're talking mozzarella, Stilton, gorgonzola and brie. Mais oui, it's cheese. First up, a quick tip about buying your staples like cheddar or red Leicester.
So let's talk about the supermarket first. 250 grams of cheese, an average cheddar. It's about £7–8 a kilo, okay? The minute you jump to a 500 gram pack, you're talking about saving a quid or two a kilo.
But it doesn't always have to be about bulk buying. When it comes to specialty cheese, less can definitely be more. A good brie or parmesan from your local artisan deli might seem expensive, but high quality usually means you use less. Next up, some simple advice on how to avoid waste.
This little bit at the end, we've all seen it, yeah? The hard, salty skin. That, my friends, don't throw it away. Throw it in the freezer. And next time you do a ragu, a tomato sauce, a soup, a minestrone, plop that in. And the flavour and depth of, you know, it's not just salt, you know, it's seasoning and flavour. So it's just a really nice little trick. And that's what all the nonnas do in Italy. I love, love, love that.
In fact, there's no excuse for putting any small slithers of cheesy heaven in the trash. Just bung them in the freezer instead.
Any cheese, that might go anywhere near the bin. Just get used to having one of these in the freezer, ready for lasagnas, cannellonis, using in cooking on top of a pizza. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So I kind of have a mega mix box. All right, bit of jive bunny going on, right? Red Leicesters, cheddars, you name it. Whatever I've got goes in there. And then whatever I'm making kind of gets a nice little medley. Now, there's one last bit as well that I want to share with you.
And that's this little number from Greece I've had stored away in my freezer.
OK, I love a bit of the old Greek feta. So let me just quickly show you something, right? Just tomato. As per usual, rattle it around. A little pinch of salt, some olive oil, a little balsamic, teaspoon, OK? Little tiny little drips is all you need. Frozen feta. And you get this incredible white snow going over your salad. And remember, this could be pasta dishes. Really, really nice. And it's quite nice to actually use the cheese, not as a cheese, but a seasoning. It could be a simply cooked pork chop with a dusting of that just kind of melts into the resting juices and becomes gorgeous. So I've used hardly anything, probably a couple of grams. Goes back in the freezer. Happy days. And all I do is nick a couple of leaves of basil and Bob's your uncle. A beautiful but very simple tomato salad with a completely different look and feel from a bit of cheese that might have gone in a bin. So there you go, a whole load of lovely little ideas that will hopefully help you at home.
Coming up after the break, my meat-free feast of a whole roast celeriac with rich mushroom sauce might sound a bit bonkers, but just you wait.
When you put this in one's gob, happiness prevails.
I'm going to get you loving those lovely leftovers with not one, but two tasty twists on salmon.
A kind of salad dressing that slaps you around the face and wakes up your taste buds.
For more tasty ways to tighten those purse strings, log on to savewithjamie.com. I'm back to show you how to eat awesome food every day of the week without breaking the bank. Sometimes, to save cash, you need to think a little bit differently. And I'm pretty sure you won't have seen anything like this next recipe. It's a bit out there and completely meat-free, but stick with me, guys, and I'll show you that celebrating humble veg will not only save you loads of cash, it can also be something to get really excited about.
Now is the time to make zombie brain. Oh yes, this, my friends, is a celeriac.
It might look like a zombie brain, yes, but trust me, this underloved veg is your route to an absolutely gorgeous meal. You've just got to know what to do with it.
You can grill them, you can roast them, you can grate them, you can have them raw, you can steam them, you can do all sorts of things. You can put them into stews, you can top stews off, you can mash them, you can put them with mashed potatoes. You can do so many things with these, it's unbelievable. But today is going to be a first. We're going to roast this whole to make it taste incredible and create a whole meal where you're really content and filled up and feeling the love. So, let's crack on.
You need this bad boy to be well scrubbed before you show it some love. Then I want to completely wrap the celeriac in flavour. So to kick off, olive oil, salt and pepper.
We're really going to treat this as we would a leg of lamb. Same amount of respect, same amount of care. Why treat it any different?
Some sprigs of thyme and bay leaves.
Just give them a little squeeze up to get the oils going. Very, very nice. 4 cloves of garlic. I'm just going to put them down onto a little table like this and give them a crush. So squash those babies. Keep them in the skin. And it's lovely. When you crush garlic like that, you get a much gentler sort of perfume of garlic, which is really nice.
And a cheeky secret ingredient, truffle oil. At around £2.50 a bottle, it's much better value than you think, and you don't need much to taste a real difference.
Time for a little expose. Truffle oil, okay? We all think it's really expensive and posh. 99% of the truffle oil on the planet is not made of truffles. It's synthetic, okay? At the same time, is quite a useful tool. It's lovely in gratins, it's lovely in mashed potato, but just drips. Don't go mental. You know, just literally a teaspoon over our little celeriac here is all you need. Be subtle with it, and it's a wonderful product to have. But just don't go thinking it's made of truffle, because it's not. So there's the truffle oil story. Now what I want to do is get all these herbs, and I want to rub it all around the celery root, like this, just as if it was a roast chicken. I'm slightly bruising the thyme. You know, the skin, we're celebrating the skin of this. It's going to be gorgeous. It's going to go sweet and tender. So rub it all over, all these little cracks and crannies here. Get the seasoning right in there. It's going to be fantastic. So, here we go.
Wrap it up nice and tight to really hug in all those flavours.
And I'm just going to put a nice knob of butter, about 30 grams, right at the top. So when it melts, it just goes down the celeriac like that.
It needs to roast for about 2 hours, but trust me, it's time well spent.
That is going to blow you away.
Now, to really make this meat-free roast sing, I've got a stonking sauce. It all starts with a cheap mix of field, button and chestnut mushrooms.
Basically, we're endorsing all the really cheap mushrooms, but, you know, this is also a good chance. You know, we're at a time now where we can get wild mushrooms and this and that and the other. And of course, if you know what you're doing and you can pick mushrooms, then that's the best value, brilliantest mushroom on the planet. But let's not be fooled that these are rubbish. You can get amazing flavour from this. It's just how you cook it. Let me show you.
First, a bit of chopping action. Then sweat a couple of cloves of garlic, some thyme and a finely chopped onion in a little olive oil before adding the mushrooms.
You can see there's a lot of mushrooms for this pan, but it will cook down, trust me. I want to put it on a medium-high heat, and I just want to love it and take care of it. And that way you'll get a really nice product.
After about 5 minutes, they'll look a bit like this.
Can you see? It's frying away, but just down here, see this water coming out? With mushrooms being sort of 90% water, that's going to happen. So what's happening now is the flavour's coming out of the heart of the mushroom, then we boil that liquid away and we start to fry again. That process of fry, boil, fry is going to really get the flavour out and intensifying, and it's going to be great. See how it's getting sticky on the bottom of the pan? You know, I'm just keeping my eye on it. You know, you do other jobs, but keep coming back to it and stirring it. It's on a medium-high heat. It's getting really, really tasty. This is all about big, grunty flavour.
Let them cook right down for another 20 minutes. Then whack in a good teaspoon of English mustard, a splash of water, and a generous glug of single cream.
This is the chance when you can adjust your seasoning or how thick or how light you want it. So I'm just gonna, yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Turn that off. So this goes in to our little bowl here. Really, really nice. A lovely rich mushroom sauce right there.
Time to get this feast on the table.
Come on. Peel it back. On a Sunday roast, having that in the middle of the table, gorgeous. But just look at this. Really nice. It's gone gnarly there, it's roasted, it's got crispy. And I'll just go in there and plop that into our mushrooms. And you can see how the herbs have just cooked and stuck into it. That's why it's so important that we wanted to surround it by it. In the bottom here, just like if you were cooking a chicken, you've got all this sticky caramelized goodness here, right? So of course, the best thing to do is put this on top and pour it over the top. So good, and the flavour there is so intense. So it's about bringing out the very best of a vegetable. The garlic is almost cooked into it, it's part of it. You can just pull it out like that. But that sweetness, that flavour, it's totally bonkers and exciting, zombie brain, bit daft, but have a laugh with it.
I'm serving this with pearl barley. Just cooked in boiling water for 40 minutes. It's an amazing carrier of flavour and it's as cheap as chips.
Fork, carving knife, and just like your old man did when you were little, at the end of the table, we're going to carve this like meat. And you might think I'm daft or mad, but you put this in your gob and you tell me different. Because I tell you what, you have paid a lot more money for other stuff that's never give you the satisfaction of this. Absolutely beautiful. Something totally different and exciting and somehow appreciative of the humble veg.
Slow roast celeriac, rich creamy mushroom sauce, pearl barley and greens, an original exciting roast that will serve 6 for less than £1.50 a head.
I really hope you go and try this. I know it won't let you down. If this recipe is freaking you out a bit and you think it's kind of odd, good, because like, you know, this is good food, good, clever, cared for food. And when you put this in one's gob, happiness prevails. Oh. I don't know what happened in that tin foil, but it's good. The intensity and the texture is ridiculous. In actual fact, I think I'm going to wrap myself in tin foil and all those herbs and go to bed, because I want to taste like that. That is good, real good.
After the break, it might sound fishy, but it's not. Well, it is. Lovely leftovers that will knock your socks off.
Beautiful Vietnamese leftover salmon salad.
Without breaking the bank.
Homemade tacos, making an absolute celebration with leftover salmon.
For more money-saving ideas, go to savewithjamie.com. Now, we all like a bit of a treat at the weekend, so how's this for an idea? Invest in a whole side of salmon for that special meal, and you'll guarantee plenty of leftovers to save you time and money through the week. Right now, I've got 2 ideas that will get you loving your leftover fish. My gorgeous Vietnamese-inspired salad with a punchy dressing, and stuffed Mexican tacos with homemade tortillas. First up, that salad.
Okay, so making an amazing salad, whatever it is, has got to be about contrast, colours, textures, a kind of salad dressing that slaps you around the face and wakes up your taste buds. So let's start off with texture, and I'm going to use croutons for that. And, you know, this kind of Vietnamese-inspired salad has some French influence as well. The French did colonise Vietnam for a number of years, and they've got that kind of marriage of flavours and techniques which are amazing. So the French crouton is going to be part of this beautiful salad.
This is a brilliant way to use up stale bread.
There's a lot of bread going in the bin, so one thing to do is not do it. All you have to do is tear it up like this, put it in a tray, and if you've finished roasting a dinner or doing any kind of dish in the oven, when the oven's off, just use that residual heat to kind of dry out those lovely bits of stale bread and turn them into croutons. And you will use them, and you can keep them up here like this, ready for another day, whenever, a week or 2 later.
Just tear it up and give it a bit of salt, pepper and olive oil.
You can squeeze it, you can be quite rough with it, squeeze it, toss it, get the flavour in there. I'm not going to flavour this in any kind of big way, I just want to dry it out. And really, the kind of job of the crouton is to give your mouth a crunch, but also to suck up that lovely salad dressing.
And for extra flavour and crunch for free, bung in any leftover salmon skin. It's incredible.
And if you hate skin, it will turn into something you love, I promise you. So just pop that into the oven.
180 degrees Celsius or 350 Fahrenheit for 20 minutes, and they'll be good to go.
So next up is the dressing, very, very important. And as we're kind of in Vietnam, we're feeling the ginger, AKA ginger. You know, when it's nice and fresh like this, and I can peel that skin away with my nail, I don't even bother peeling it. I just give it a nice little grate. And I love to get these little fine graters. Can you see that? See the juice has come out, it's just pouring out just like that. Really, really nice. And you know that ginger is super hot and gorgeous. So that ginger, just scrape it off like that. So that's going to give it heat and perfume and fragrance.
And then sticking with the Asian theme, a hum of red chili.
And again, you're gonna kind of bruise and break up that chili, get the juices going in there, and you know, the salmon will love that.
Go in with 3 tablespoons of white wine vinegar, 4 of extra virgin olive oil, and a good splash of soy sauce for seasoning and depth of flavour.
So we're just gonna jiggery-pokery of that. Have a little taste. And I'm very happy with that.
Next, French beans. I'm using frozen. At less than a third of the cost of fresh, they're a great addition to your freezer. Just boil for 3 minutes.
While it's nice and hot and steamy, that's the perfect time to dress it, okay? So they go first into our lovely marinade. And all I want to do is just toss that up a little bit, and they're going to suck up that flavour. And look, you do lose a little bit of texture from the frozen bean, but it's pretty hard to tell. It's all happy days.
Then to contrast the hot beans and the zingy Asian dressing, some cool crisp salad, cucumber and baby gem lettuce. Don't bin those stalks, they're full of crunch. Just stick them in, along with some peppery radishes.
Last but not least, apples. And you can use your knife skills here. And because it's round, it's a bit of a kind of awkward thing to slice. So all I do is take the edge off of the apple and make that sort of stable. And then I'm going to use the tap chopping method and just take my time to slice through the apple. And if you do it, and it's a little bit ropey, then you can always get your apples together like this and pile them next to each other and turn them into matchsticks and just cut the other way. See? So there's no right or wrong. Getting fruit into the story is absolutely divine and really, really makes a difference in this salad. Let's finish this dish. I want to delicately use my fairy fingers now to dress the salad leaves. Every last bit is going to be dressed, and just drop it from a height so it's getting coated in that beautiful, beautiful dressing. It smells incredible, right? And then when you kind of are happy with how it looks, then we're going to introduce, oh, so good, our croutons. And of course, even the fish skin went in there. Really, really good. And if you haven't got a big platter like this, actually often at home when I don't want the washing up, I just dress it in the roasting tray, okay? And that's the way to do it. So the croutons go in. The croutons play a really great role for sucking up the extra juice from the dressing. There we go. Really, really nice. And, you know, this is costed out for 4 people. I reckon you could feed 6 out of this, but that's just me. And then last but not least, we get our salmon. And the point of this is leftovers don't have to be miserable. They don't have to be boring. Salads don't have to be boring. They can have attitude. They can be something you look forward to. You just got to know how to make those salad dressings that kick. And also, you want to create textures and stuff like that that's really good, fun to look at and to eat. So one last little toss over. Look at that. Really, really nice. And that, my friends, is a lovely little salad that I'm very proud of.
And finally, of course, a sprinkling of extra chili. This zingy Asian dressing totally shocks that salmon back into life for pennies. In fact, the whole dish is coming in at £1.65 a head.
Really, really good. The crunch of the crouton, the beans are great, the apple, the dressing, really, really good. And remember, it's not just salmon that you can use as leftovers. It could be leftover chicken, pork, vegetarian beans or chickpeas. A really great all-rounder salad with a little bit of inspiration from Vietnam. Enjoy.
But there's tons more things you can do with your salmon leftovers. Next, we're hitting Mexico with my tasty tacos. Warm, soft tortillas stuffed with creamy avocado, zingy pickle and chunks of salmon.
It's really simple, and as far as saving money and using up leftovers, they're brilliant, they're handheld, and people just love them.
I'm making my own flour tortillas. It sounds fancy, but they're a real doddle. And they take these tacos from being good to incredible. It's just 250 grams of plain flour,
A pinch of salt.
150 mils of water, and a little bit of olive oil.
Making your own is about 5 times cheaper than buying them, okay? So instead of £1.50, we're talking 29 pence for making 12 tacos.
Once you've got a nice soft dough, give it a good knead.
It's that simple. It's not rocket science. You don't need any skill. I mean, I'm doing this, but you can do this if you want. You can jump it around. As long as you're moving that dough, you're kneading that dough. And it's all about stretching it and making it smooth and elastic. Just use that flour to stop it sticking. And there we go, homemade tacos. Now, if you want, you can go a little bit of wholemeal flour in there to make it a little more healthy, which you absolutely can do. So it doesn't take long to make this at all. And you know what, if you're getting a proper taco made by a real Mexican, you know, part of the ritual of this wonderful handheld sort of street food, and it's really, really good value, is that you make the tacos to order. You know, they have these little clamps that just squeeze down like 2 little bats, and they cook them on a little flat pan, and the taco is really an important part of it. So it's a nice thing to learn because, you know, all those thousands of miles away in England in the supermarket, they're just not quite the same, and to do it yourself is brilliant.
Roll into a sausage and divide into 12 balls.
Roughly the same size, ideally.
And just let them rest for a bit.
We'll just put a little tea towel over them.
While they chill out, crack on with the filling.
It's got to be alive, it's got to be full of life. You know, when you eat it, it's got to be kind of slapping you, you know, acidity, lemon, lime, stuff like that. So that's what we want to go on. So next up, I'm going to do a little pickle, a little quick pickle.
It's just finely sliced red onion and a cucumber.
I'm going to peel it badly on purpose, so you can keep a bit of peel on, but I just want to expose some of that cucumber flesh from the outside so it can suck up that pickle.
Next, salt and don't be shy.
Most of that will go down the drain, okay? But I need that salt in there to create this quick pickle.
Add a slug of white wine vinegar and give it all a good scrunch.
That kind of rawness of the onion will now go, and it's more of a pickle. And we're just gonna kind of just squeeze it and scrunch it a little bit. And it just speeds things up a little bit. And see that liquid coming out? That's what I mean. I need that excess salt in there to do the job, but most of that's gonna go down the drain and leave behind nicely seasoned, beautiful cucumber.
The pickle gives it a nice twang. Now I want something creamy. So I'm gonna make a silky fresh avocado sauce. It's just 2 ripe avocados, a good dollop of plain yogurt, mint, salt, and the zest and juice of 1 lime. Wazz it up. And you've got a simplified cousin of guacamole. Now, back to those tortillas. Time to get rolling.
You want to roll it just a little bit thinner than a pound coin. Once it's relaxed, it's really easy. If it's not perfectly round, I think you get points for that. If it's perfectly round, it looks like you've just been down the supermarket and bought some. If it's a little bit odd and even but roughly round, I think that's kind of cool. It's got homemade written all over it. There's no yeast in this lovely taco. So it's an unleavened bread, so you don't have to wait around or prove. You make it and you can pretty much roll it out and cook it. So look, there's our first one. Just put it in a dry pan. We're gonna cook it about 1 minute each side. So super, super quick. That's all I want, guys. There's a tiny bit of color there. I want it quite blonde, okay?
Let's build these thrifty tacos. A bit of foil makes a great cheeky holder.
You just pull it apart, and there you go. Little concertina. One goes in there. One goes on here.
Spoon in that creamy avocado. Then load up the pickle, the lovely leftover salmon.
You don't need loads, okay?
Scatter over some fresh mint. And again, I'm using up that leftover salmon skin, this time for a crispy topping.
And then all you have to do is put it in your gob and eat it. Simple. And of course, if you want a little bit of chili sauce, oh yeah. Yeah, I'll go with that. No problem there.
These homemade tacos are quick, simple, fun, and they make those leftovers a pleasure to eat. And at just £1.31 for 2 of these bad boys, they're an absolute steal. So go on, treat yourself to that side of salmon at the weekend, and you'll be glad you did it for the rest of the week. Tasty tacos and a Vietnamese salad with attitude. 2 amazing ideas on the cheap. So if you ever need proof that you can enjoy super tasty food and spend less, then here it is. Just stock up on those store-cupboard ingredients, take a chance on something a little bit different, and love those leftovers.